Corey Dillon, the official running back of I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. The official running back of keeping your head down at a factory job that's slowly killing your soul. The official running back of punching out at 3:30 p.m. and sitting in your Dodge Ram in the parking lot for 15 minutes before you can summon the will to drive home. Corey Dillon is the running back equivalent of the one appliance in your house that's older than your marriage but refuses to die. You bought it at Sears in 1997 and it's still chugging along, making the same grinding noise it made on day one, but it works. 6'1", 225 pounds, drafted in the second round, 43rd overall by the Cincinnati Bengals in 1997. Cincinnati, the Bengals. That's like being a Michelin-starred chef and getting hired by a gas station that's trying to rebrand their hot dog roller as an artisanal charcuterie. From 1997 to 2003, Corey Dillon rushed for 8,061 yards in Cincinnati. 8,000 yards in Cincinnati. Do you understand what that means? That's like being a championship surfer in Nebraska. That's like being a sommelier in Applebee's. The man was performing miracles with an offensive line made of traffic cones and good intentions. His career average, 4.3 yards per carry in Cincinnati. He averaged 4.3 yards per carry while running behind an offensive line that opposing teams described as optional. The Bengals' blocking schemes were like schemes, more like suggestions, more improv theater than football strategy. Corey Dillon looked like every guy who ever fixed your furnace at 9 p.m. on Christmas Eve and didn't charge you overtime. He had that face, you know the face that says, I've seen things, man, and I'm not mad about it. I'm just tired. He wore his helmet like a man putting on a hard hat before descending into the mines. Not with enthusiasm, not with dread, just compliance. His running style, violent, efficient, workmanlike. There was no dancing, no juking, no trying to make SportsCenter. Just, here's the hole, there's a linebacker, that linebacker is now on the ground questioning his career choices. And Corey Dillon has 4 more yards. Next play. He ran like a man who had to finish mowing the lawn before the rain came. Purpose without flash, function without form. The anti-Barry Sanders. If Barry Sanders was a Miata dancing through a canyon, Corey Dillon was a snowplow at 4 a.m. clearing your street so you could get to work. But let's talk about the anger, because there was anger. So much anger. In 2000, Corey Dillon said he wanted to be traded. He said Cincinnati was a curse like a biblical plague, like a haunted house that was also somehow boring. And you know what? He was right. The Bengals went 3-13 that year. 3-13. Corey Dillon rushed for 1,435 yards and scored 7 touchdowns on a team that won 3 games. He was a Porsche 911 engine and a Pontiac Aztek. The Cincinnati media crucified him for it. How dare he, they said. How dare this running back, who had given us everything, who had played through injuries, who has carried this offense on his back like Atlas holding up the sky. How dare he suggest that maybe, just maybe, the organization that hasn't won a playoff game since 1990 might be bad? It's the most working class dilemma there is. Stay loyal to the company that doesn't appreciate you, or speak up and get labeled a malcontent. Corey Dillon chose truth, and they called him a villain. He kicked the ball into the stands once, got fined. They made it a thing. Corey Dillon, distraction, malcontent, problem child. Like kicking a football was somehow worse than fielding a team that was 2-14. Like expressing frustration was more offensive than wasting everyone's time. Then 2004 happened. The Patriots traded for him, gave Cincinnati a second-round pick for a 30-year-old running back with character concerns. And wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you just know it? Corey Dillon rushed for 1,635 yards, 12 touchdowns, 4.7 yards per carry, and the Patriots went 14-2 and won the Super Bowl. Of course they did. Because Corey Dillon was never the problem. He was never difficult. He was never a distraction. He was a good player on a bad team who made the mistake of saying so out loud. And the moment you put him in with somewhere functional, somewhere where an actual offensive line and a competent coaching staff and a quarterback who wasn't actively afraid of football, he thrived. It's nobody wants to work anymore story in reverse. Turns out people do want to work. They just don't want to work for you. They don't want to show up every day for a dysfunctional organization that blames them for management's failures. Corey Dillon in Cincinnati was a skilled tradesman working for a contractor who wouldn't buy the right tools. Corey Dillon in New England was that same tradesman finally getting to work for someone who understood that if you want quality work, you provide quality support. Here's what kills me about Corey Dillon. He's forgotten. 11,471 career rushing yards, 82 touchdowns, 4 Pro Bowls, a Super Bowl ring, and he's a footnote. You know why? Because he played in Cincinnati during the dark ages. Because he didn't smile enough. Because he had the audacity to be upset about being on a terrible team. Because he wasn't media friendly, which is code for he didn't pretend everything was fine when it obviously wasn't. Corey Dillon is the running back equivalent of every band that was huge in their local scene but was never made it nationally because they didn't have the right connections. He's the guy who should have a bronze bust somewhere, but instead gets, oh yeah, I remember him, when his name comes up at trivia night. So what is Corey Dillon? Corey Dillon is the reminder that talent isn't enough, that you can do everything right and still get screwed by circumstance, that loyalty to a bad organization is just self-harm with extra steps, that speaking up for yourself will get you labeled difficult even when you're objectively correct. Corey Dillon is your dad's work ethic with your generation's unwillingness to accept abuse. He's the bridge. He's the guy who showed up, did his job, and when the job didn't hold up to its end of the bargain, he said something about it. He's a 2001 Toyota Tundra with 300,000 miles that still starts every morning without complaint. Not pretty, not exciting, but reliable, functional, honest. And when someone finally gave him a chance to show what he could really do, he won a Super Bowl at age 30 and rushed for 1,600 yards in his first season with a competent team. Corey Dillon is proof that problem usually isn't the worker, it's the workplace. Corey Dillon.